JFK case connection diagram starting with LBJ and Governor Conley. They no doubt had connection to Director Allen Dulles of the CIA and General Charles Cabell, who was the brother of the mayor of Dallas, E. Cabell, and many other Texas figures since they were Texas-based. So we have David Harold Byrd, who owned the Texas School Book Depository, where George de Mohrenschildt and the Paynes helped Lee Harvey Oswald get a job. And the Paynes were, of course, CIA and connected. The CIA is connected to oil companies. So with oil companies, you have H.L. Hunt, T. Dealey of Dealey Plaza, Lester Lloyd Logue, who worked with Lauren Hall, and they are connected to some of the assassins like Jim Braden, who was offered money to assassinate JFK. LBJ is connected to Mac Wallace, whose fingerprint was found in the Texas School Depository, and he was a marksman and probably associated with ONI, or the Office of Naval Intelligence, who was also associated with Lee Harvey Oswald and Roscoe White, who was he was undercover in the Dallas police force and worked on photographs that involved Lee Harvey Oswald. And he was one of the policemen seen on the grassy knoll threatening people not to go back there when people wanted to rush back there, because most people heard the shots from back behind there. And with him was probably E.E. Bradley, who was posing as a Secret Service agent, and Bradley had been threatening to kill JFK. Of course, all of these conspirators hated JFK and had reason to work together to have him killed, which brings in military intelligence, which relates to the war and peace politics. So with military intelligence working with the CIA, you have General Lansdale, General LeMay, General Lemnitzer, General Walker, and General Charles Cabell, who's also CIA, as mentioned before. Richard Nixon and George Bush were part of the Zapata Cuban coup, who are tied into Bishop Phillips, Harvey, and Moore with the CIA. Those are officers, CIA officers. With the FBI, Director Hoover had agents that were helping to cover up the evidence. Guy Bannister was FBI, and David Ferry, they also had CIA connections and knew Lee Harvey Oswald. And there's a connection to the CIA. Shaw, who also worked with Lee Harvey Oswald. And let's see, Buell Frazier was a friend of Lee Harvey Oswald's with the Paynes. There's various mob connections, mafia, Carlo Marcello, Sam Giancana, Charles Nicoletti, who was killed before he could testify, and he's directly connected with the CIA. And, of course, the CIA was in charge of the Warren Commission that is the popular face of the case, and had false conclusions because it was rigged, as they were part of the conspiracy to kill JFK. So you see a lot of these characters are interconnected, and they wore multiple hats. So there's also James Jesus Angleton, who hired Lee Harvey Oswald. He was one of the bosses in the CIA that sent Oswald to Russia. Cord Meyer, who hated JFK because his wife was friends, or ex-wife was friends with JFK, and they were, she was probably leaking information, CIA information, that JFK was able to use in his decision-making to promote peace with Russia, which the military-industrial complex did not want. You have E. Howard Hunt, who later confessed to being one of the CIA officers involved with the conspiracy. Carswell, Sturgis, Morales, who are seen in video and or films and the photographs on site during the assassination, and Viciana and other Cubans who, again, were part of the anti-Castro hit squads, and so their assassination plans translated to the JFK assassination, and they were mad at JFK for the failed Bay of Pigs and related politics. There are more people involved, but the summary is, of course, that this is why there could never be a trial to find justice for Lee Harvey Oswald or JFK, because the coup happened at the highest levels of the military-industrial complex, and of course, the vice president who was involved in the coup became the president. So it was a successful coup, and the people in power who still have a legacy that's in power today certainly don't want any of that exposed, and they don't want this information to hinder their authority.